My name is James Denning. I'm the Vice President for Europe for Automation Anywhere. So for me, the big conversation this year has been about adoption, and I think there's a huge chasm still between people who know and people who don't quite know yet. And it's a bit like, if you remember the book Crossing the Chasm, which is all about startups. Building your first 5 robots isn't that hard. Building your first 500 is much harder. And the companies that have figured that out and are churning out robots at an industrial level and are getting that return on investment at real scale, they're the ones who are really succeeding. It's a really good question. I think there are 2 ways to look at this. One is, where do you get that advice? Where do you get that knowledge from? And I would say that the first place to look at is go and talk to people who are already doing it. So these shows are a really good opportunity to find delegates who are rolling out robots at scale and go and talk to them about how they're doing that. The second way to look at it is, what are the different things you need to figure out? Things like best practice, centres of excellence, governance models, all of those things, the frameworks within which you operate your RPA program, those are really important. You can get those from customers, you can get those from vendors. If you come and talk to Automation Anywhere, if you go and talk to UiPath, those people will help you, they'll point you in the right direction. So either can work. But the thing to always remember is, it's business that benefits from an RPA rollout. So business really should be steering the ship with support from IT. I think the reality is you have to have both involved. And one of the things that we certainly talk about a lot is the importance of getting those stakeholders, both from the business, from senior management, and from IT. Getting those stakeholders involved as early as possible is absolutely essential if you want to succeed. So it's really about fast return on investment. Traditional IT transformation, you might not see a return on investment for 9, 12, 24 months, maybe even longer. With RPA, if you get it right, if you crack the code on building robots, you can see your return on investment in a few months. So I think both the speed you get that return on investment and also the scale. If you're going to talk to people like AT&T or ANZ Bank or UBS, they have hundreds and thousands of robots. The cost savings they're seeing and the ability to redeploy staff, this isn't a few $100,000 a year. These are millions or tens of millions of dollars a year are being realised for these companies through the judicious application of RPA, and that interests everybody. One of the problems that I see at the moment is people are getting distracted by the next generation technologies. So AI, cognitive, we have our IQ bots, and there is absolutely a place for those. And we have customers who have rolled out a lot of RPA robots, and they're now using cognitive for that next generation to deal with that semi-structured data. But for most customers out there, for most companies out there, they still need to focus on getting their RPA deployment right and not be distracted by the shiny AI, the promise of the future. So I think that is a problem, that distraction. So I think there's a nuanced answer. Do self-learning robots exist? At one level, yes they do. Our IQ bot takes semi-structured data, and the more it processes, the more it learns, the more use cases it sees, the better it gets. So it's an adaptive algorithm that processes data better and better the more data it's exposed to. But I think what Guy's talking about is, are there robots that you can just point to the business and say, go and learn how to do stuff? Now today, no, I think he's right, that doesn't exist. Will it happen in the future? I think it will, and I think it'll happen quite quickly. If you look at the way that Automation Anywhere builds robots, we record what people do to give you the bones of a robot. It's not a huge leap for us to have something that essentially looks over somebody's shoulder without explicitly being taught and looks for patterns in what they're doing and how they're processing data. So yeah, I could absolutely see that happening over the next 2 or 3 years.